Change is coming, my friends. I'm starting a new company, and I wanted to share with you in this video why I'm doing that and the benefit that's going to come to a lot of multifamily owners as a result. So, in my years of selling multifamily real estate, I realized that there's kind of two major problems that a lot of multifamily owners encounter when they deal with a broker. And sometimes they get great results and other times they don't. And they don't really understand why that is. So, oftentimes within the brokerage industry, because there's a lot of money involved, some of the ethics of the brokers can be called into question. And it's unfortunate because a lot of owners sometimes don't even realize it's happening, and it can produce a result that's maybe not so much in their best interest. For instance, there's some brokers who they kind of hide the listing and they don't put it out online or really post it anywhere, and they just keep it to like their people, because they want to make sure they get all of the commission, and also just kind of control it to their pool of buyers who they know, like, hey, if that buyer buys the deal, they might list their property with that broker in the future, and it's kind of a self-serving kind of network. So that happens a lot, and a lot of owners don't realize it. And I wanted to provide an atmosphere to multifamily owners where they can trust they're getting maximum exposure for their marketing and don't have to worry, like, is this broker hiding it, so that they can make sure they get all of the commission, or what's really going on there. So our first concern was to make sure that we're providing broad marketing. And the reason for that is because making sure as many people as possible see your listing will always result in more money for the owner, because more people means more competition and a better price for the owner. And the second part of what we realized was also going on is that, a lot of multifamily owners work really hard to add value to their property. And then when they go and sell, there's like really high selling cost and brokerage commissions for them to sell. But oftentimes they feel like there's no choice because, uh, truth be told, if you try to sell yourself as an owner, oftentimes you get less just because it's, again, not getting exposed broadly to the market. And they might also price it inappropriately, leave information out that could be beneficial to them. So it's really not in their best interest to sell it themselves. But the alternative maybe is to pay a broker a whole bunch of money to sell it for them. So what we want to do is provide an alternative where owners can come to us, get an experienced valuation for their building to make sure they're selling for the most amount of money, and getting premium marketing. So make sure it's going everywhere that buyers are going to be looking for their property, and have things look really professional in order to put their best face forward so that the owners can have the benefits of having a broker. And in exchange for saving some of the upfront fees and the ongoing costs, they do a little bit of the work themselves. So this will work in the fashion that we would advise them on sale price and provide the marketing broadly online and directly to owners. But the owner themselves or their property manager will physically show the property when that time comes and conduct some of the physical inspections themselves and facilitate that. And in exchange, they get to save some of the money and benefit from some of their hard-earned equity instead of paying it all out in a broker commission. So those two things, making sure that the owner's interests are represented and they're getting the broadest possible marketing, is the first one. And the second one is making sure that multifamily owners can retain some of their hard-earned equity by doing some of the work themselves, is the second benefit that we're bringing to multifamily owners. So that's our heart and soul of why we're starting this new company. And we're looking forward to being able to work with many multifamily owners in order to bring them a lot of value in the future.